Did you ever get into mom talk?
No, I have enough anxiety on my own.
Right, like, it would make you feel even more inferior about your choices as a mom.
100%. Yeah. There's enough inside thoughts for that,
Yeah,
for one person.
but I'm obsessed with the drama, and now I wish I was kind of into it because, like, I need to know, like, the ins and outs of, like, the mom influencer world because there's so much going on. So I'm so glad somebody wrote a book about it.
And that person is Claire Swinarski, and she wrote The Supper Club Saint. And how we got her on the pod, I don't know. Like, girl is just, she's a boss. She has written so many YA books. This is her second adult novel, and she hit it out of the park. Like, if you don't have this on your TBR for the summer, please go do it because it's good.
Yeah, you guys will love it. You will totally I've never felt more seen. I've never related to characters more as a mom, as a sister, as a daughter. It's all about family dynamics, and for writers, like, it's just a really it literally is a masterclass on writing families and how to have empathy, and it's wonderful. So, we're so excited to have Claire on the pod today.
Yay, Claire! Cheers.
Yeah, so The Supper Club Saints is about a girl named Cass. She's a young mom, and she has been away from her small Wisconsin town for a couple of years, living in a mom-mune with a group of mom influencers. And when things go south there pretty quickly, she runs away and returns home, thinking that she's going to be able to work at her family's supper club, only to find out that it's being sold. So she quickly gets a job as a parenting advice columnist, and with the help of her sisters and her own mother, ends up writing advice to moms who write in and want to know about modern parenting and small town life. And they spend a lot of time with their supper club and remembering all the good times they had there, and kind of diving into how what happened to us as children influences our parenting today. And yeah, it's a big, complicated Wisconsin family, and I hope you love it.
Oh, it's so good. You're gonna love it. I was just, like,
I'm just
so
like so
excited to get
excited.
on here and talk to you.
Yes. Oh
No,
my
I'm
God.
excited. I was listening to a few of your, episodes to be like, okay, what podcast am I going on? And I love it. I just listened to your AI one. It was great. I'm gonna listen to more.
A little unhinged, so
That's my favorite style.
yeah, we're so excited to talk to you. I, like, just finished the book literally 10 minutes ago.
Oh, awesome.
I still have like 2 hours left according to my Kindle, and I'm like dying to finish it.
Recently, Jenna, I've just been finishing, like, right before I try to time it so it's, like, right before we record, because then I just get so jacked up. That's the best part about this whole thing is, like, you read these books and then you, like, immediately get to talk to the author.
Yes.
It's, like, the best, especially since we've been working with HarperCollins. We just get, like, the books are so great, and, like, it's just been such a great.
Well, thank you.
And when I saw your book, I literally, like, on the list that HarperCollins sent us, I did, like, the Command F and typed in Wisconsin, specific,
Wisconsin.
like, I kid you not, to try to find, like, local authors that I haven't heard about yet, and I saw yours, and I'm like, "You're shitting me. Like, this is so good." And
Thank
I read the
you.
synopsis, and I'm like, "This is just the epitome of a Wisconsin book," and I am so excited for it. And, of course, like, I
Thank you.
devoured it.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I didn't realize you were in Wisconsin until this morning. I just followed you guys on Instagram and I saw that you're in Green Bay. So that's awesome. My books are all very Wisconsin-y, very Wisconsin girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so where are you from in Wisconsin originally? And, like, do you still live here?
I'm originally from Madison, and I
Okay.
went to UW-Madison, but now I live in Lisbon, which nobody knows where that is except we just had a tornado last week, and so we were famous for a week. So everyone was like, "A tornado hit in Lisbon," and so our tiny, tiny town that has nothing but, like, a quick trip and a stop sign was on the news, so we felt very fancy, but it's like 45 minutes northwest of Milwaukee. Where are you, Kate?
I'm in Massachusetts.
Okay, so quite different vibe.
Different vibe. I did go to visit Jenna in Wisconsin, like, last month, and it was my first time.
It was during the, like, giant snowstorm that, like, shut down most of the state. Yeah, she literally, like,
Yeah,
it was
March,
bizarre
April
and
is
fun.
not a good time. You gotta come in, like, July. That's when we
It
look
was
our best.
crazy. Yeah. So that was my
I'm glad you survived.
I did. Yeah,
Yes.
that was my welcome to Wisconsin, but, um, It's really cool to, like, read a book about it and get a little bit more of the culture, like, supper clubs, like, really, like, a thing in Wisconsin. Like, it is not a thing here, so that was new for me.
Oh, it's a thing.
Yes. Yeah, they are a thing, and I've heard that phrase used by other people from other parts of the country as, like, a literal gathering where people will, like, cook together, and it always confused me. I'm like, "Why are you calling that a supper club? A supper club is a restaurant." They're just, like, so cozy and homey and so Wisconsin, so, yeah, they're awesome. Next time you come
Yes.
visit, Jenna has to take you to one.
I will take you.
I just thought of, like, especially that opening line with the line about the grasshopper. I was like, I immediately got the vibe that the supper club is like a 1950s, 60s type of phenomenon. And it just like set, I feel like that set the stage for it. For people like me who don't know what it might be like, that set it pretty well. So I was in. I had like almost like a Dirty Dancing like picture in my head of like them like all eating at the camp together.
It's not completely off. Have you guys ever read, Saturday Night at the Lakeside Supper Club by J. Ryan Straddle, or have you heard of it?
No.
You would love it. It's Minnesota vibes, but it's an amazing book about a supper club, and I heard him on an interview talking about how, like, going to a supper club is kinda like being invited to someone's home because you show up and they immediately give you free food. They give you the relish tray, they give you the bread basket, they let you sit there as long as you want, the salad bar is unlimited, and you are there for hours. Like, it's just supposed to have that, like, hospitable feel and not like a stuffy restaurant feel.
And I'm just like, that's just a normal Friday here.
Yeah.
I know since you are from Wisconsin and you write, like, books that are in like, geography and, like, the culture of, like, Wisconsin and everything, what has been your, feeling thus far, like, introducing people to Wisconsin almost? It's like you're almost like tour guide Barbie with your books.
I think that's an honor because people don't understand that Wisconsin is great. I think we get a bad rap. We get roped in with like boring, flat farmland states, but people don't
Like
realize first.
Illinois.
I know, or like Iowa. Like if people, no offense to our lovely Iowa readers, but if people see Iowa and then they see Wisconsin, it's like people don't realize, first of all, it's beautiful here. We have so many lakes, beautiful bluffs, like it's just so pretty, especially if you get up north. Like when you see photos of some places in northern Wisconsin, it looks like the freaking Pacific Northwest. Like it is beautiful here. And second of all, just the culture here, I think is something that could really help the rest of the country in terms of just this sense of like neighborliness and knowing who you live around and helping each other out. I lived in New Orleans for 1 year, and I always heard, like, "Southern hospitality, Southern hospitality." I'm like, people in the Midwest are way nicer than people in the South." And so I love just showing people, like, the good heart of Wisconsin, and, yeah, my books are super, super Wisconsin-y, which I think some people, it might turn them off a little bit, but then when people in Wisconsin read my books, they tend to be so excited because there aren't a ton of books about the
Oh,
Midwest, right? There's like this whole Southern literature. There's all those books where like New York City is the character, and there's all these books about like LA and California, and there's just like not a lot set here. So I think it's exciting for readers.
yes, 100%, especially because everyone says, like, "Write what you know," like, you need to write what is, like, part of your soul, and I just love that you, like, actually did that, like, you were I wanna know how much of yourself you inserted into this book because I'm like, there's a cast of characters, I found myself in, like, a bunch of them, so not only, like, did you take the actual place of where you are, but, like, the people part of it, because that was a choice, all of those characters and that family dynamic.
Yeah, it's funny because I have a big Catholic family, and I've written now 2 books about big Catholic families, and whenever my family hears that I have a new book coming, they're like, "Oh, geez," and I give them the advanced copy, and they're, like, flipping through, like, "Which one's me? Which one's Jenna?" Like, they're, like, arguing over who is who, and that's not how I write. Like, my characters aren't replicas of people. It's not like I just write myself or my siblings into a book, but they're certainly heavily inspired by moments in my life, or they're pulled from different traits and quirks of people that I know, including myself. So like there's a lot of me in, I would say, Hillary, but I am not divorced. So it's like those practical details are not the same, but a lot of our kind of inner vibe is the same.
Mhm.
Our, like, exhaustion with balancing, like, motherhood and a creative life, and our frustration with other people's really strict rules, those things are kind of the same, but I draw stick people and am happily married, so the practicals do not always line up, but, there's a scene in the book where, like, she goes to Target with her kids, and she's feeling so overwhelmed and exhausted, and her kids are, like, yelling at her because she bought herself candy, and the Target worker is like, "Hey, like, your mom works really hard, like, stop," at the kids. That happened to me in a Target once, and I've never forgotten. I was like, "The sweet worker was, like, defending my honor to my children," like, so a lot of those moments are very real, but the characters are not exactly one-to-one comparison.
No, I think that people can really relate to Hillary, and I wanna say that, like, when I think I first started reading it, I was just like, "Okay, like, Hillary's gonna be in the middle, and you're gonna have these, like, extremes all around her," and that wasn't the case at all, like, what ended up happening, which I thought was so awesome in your writing, was just, like, somebody like Cass, who you were really quick to judge. You can relate so much to her, like, postpartum anxiety and, like, the things that she was experiencing and her intrusive thoughts, and, like, I've never felt more seen as a mom reading Cass's story, but could not relate to her overall choices, but also was like, "Yeah, I, like, totally get why this happened because I've
Yeah.
been there." Like, I've had that thought, I've had this thought, like, on a daily basis, and then you have Hillary who's, like, just trying to, like, handle all of it in a different way.
Just trying to live. Hillary's trying to get through the day.
She's just
Oh my god.
5, yeah, and we all can't be like Kaz, we can't devote, like, I don't know, Oliver I mean, like, they all learn, but, like, I don't know, I was in awe of just how truly real they all felt in ways
Well,
that I
thank you.
was super surprised by, you know what I mean? Like, super
I
cool.
think one of the things that I was thinking over when I was writing the book was I knew that there was gonna be this, like, mom influencer element that, like, Cass had worked for a mom influencer, and she lived in this mom-mune, and that she'd had all these interactions, and she'd really looked up to these women, and I think it would have been really easy and maybe more fun to just write, like, almost like a mocking satire, like, "These women are idiots, let's all laugh at them. Like, they suck, they're, like, ruining people's lives," like, and just make them into these characters, but I found it more interesting to think about, like, why are women so attracted to this? Because they are. We might all be sitting around, like, laughing at Ballerina Farm, but Ballerina Farm is a multimillionaire with millions of followers, so, like, there's something that she's giving that people are attracted to, and, like, why is that? Was a more interesting question to me than just like, "Haha, let's all, like, point at this idiot and laugh at her together." I think that's a lot of our instinct, but there's a reason that people pursue mom influences as a career, and then there's a reason that they have followers, and so I wanted to kind of explore that, but then juxtapose it with something like a supper club, which you could not get more different in culture. Like, there's no supper club influencers, you know what I mean? Like, no one's doing a flat lay at the supper club. It is not aesthetic. So, like, taking those 2 things and seeing how they played together was really fun.
I love that. It is not aesthetic. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the antithesis of
It's
aesthetic.
like darkly lit, wood panels, carpet. It's yeah. No
Yep.
ballerina farms in there.
Oh my god. That's so funny. But yeah, because I read the excerpt and I'm like, "I see where this is going," but then, like, when you actually, like, sat and read it, I didn't expect to connect with almost, like, every single character in some way. Like, a lot of times when you have a cast of characters, like, or a family, you kind of at least I do when I'm reading, is, like, I pick one and, like, that's me, and then, like, that's how I insert myself into the story that I'm reading, but this one, I'm like, "I get you. I also get you. Wait, how the hell do I get you too?
Like, another really real part of the book, like a direct scene, was one of my sisters and I are always fighting about trampolines. Like, I'm like, "Let the kids roam!" Like, and my kids have all had multiple broken bones, and she's a nurse. She's very safety first, and, like, her kids are not allowed on a trampoline, and we have had so many arguments about this, and it's like, how do you have these conversations where you don't hurt each other's feelings? Because clearly, like, I think you're wrong, and she thinks I'm wrong. Like, so how do you get through that and not get offended that someone else, like, just thinks you are wrong and you are making a wrong choice, but, we wanna remain in relationships, so, like, how do we navigate that? It's like we've gotta resolve this somehow.
Literally. The
It's
trampoline was so
tricky.
relatable. That was so relatable. What I love too about Remy and, like, the mom character is just this commentary on motherhood as a whole and how, like, Remy, from her perspective, she absolutely loves her kids and is a great mom and is, like, very present for her kids and does all the right things, and her actions show it too, and, like, she is there and stuff. But if you ask any one of her kids, they'll be like, yeah, she wasn't the best. Like, she wasn't present enough, or she worked a lot, and, like, all this stuff. And so, like, the conflicting, like, whereas Remy has all the right intentions and, like, truly has, like, deep love for her children, and, like, they would say the exact opposite, was just so, like, yeah, like, I've definitely give my mom shit and don't
Yes.
ever consider her experience as a woman or a mother.
Yeah, that is something I wanted to play with in the book too, is like just how often our generation, we kind of look at our mom and it's like, that's our mom. That's her entire identity. And that should be her sole purpose in life. Like, what do you mean you're not answering my phone call? Like, I have something to tell you.
Yep.
Why are you not picking up the phone? But it's like they have a whole life and also they have their own life experiences that contributed to how they parented. And so, her kids might be like, well, you were working all the time. And she might be like, yeah, you're welcome for the roof and the running water. Like, I was out here trying to make sure you survived. And it's like she didn't wanna, they might have been like, "Well, you didn't even know where we were, you gave us so much freedom," but then when you read Remy's story and you see how she was given no freedom, no autonomy, like, she believed she was giving them a gift, and it's like, who's right, who's wrong? We don't really know. It's
Mhm.
not so cookie cutter. I saw a review that actually I've seen multiple that keep referring to the book as like a dysfunctional family, and I'm like, I think they're quite functional. Like they're they
Yep.
have a lot of conflict, but I'm like, they're hanging out together, they're running a business together. Like I'm like, I don't think they're not functioning. I just think this is how family life is. If you want to be in a family, you're
Yes.
gonna have these moments that you
Yeah,
got to
Conflict.
it's
work
not
through.
freaking
Yeah.
August Osage County over here, like, it's like
I love that movie for the record.
I did too, but, like, I just felt like everybody really loved each other and
That
we
is
had, like, really
dysfunction.
good intentions. Yeah, that's what I would review that as.
That's so accurate. Like, when we get together with my family, we have, like, 2.5 solid days where, like, no one's bickering. No one's fighting. Maybe, like, a couple feathers are ruffled, but it's just like "Yeah, we're in this together. We really love you. So happy to see you." Because all my siblings live in Denver.
Oh,
So
okay.
when we get together, it's like a really exciting thing, but then after
Mhm.
2.5 days, then people start to get a little persnickety.
Yeah.
Like, and and I'm just imagining, I'm like, "What if we lived closer to one another? We would be, like, at each other's throats constantly."
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said. My siblings all live in Madison, so I would say we have like a great balance of we see each other
Yes.
often, but not every day. But like, yeah, in the supper club scenes, I mean, they're seeing each other almost every day. Like it's just constant togetherness. I mean, Cass is staying with Remy, which we read in the book. She's like, this is not going to work long term. But
No.
yeah, it doesn't mean there's not like a lot of love there. It's just the nature of being human.
So when you had this idea, and because you had written, like, books prior to this one, were you with your agent and, like, you pitched the idea to them, or was it you just had to get this story out and then you showed it to them? Because it feels, like, very
No.
personable.
It was not like that. I was talking to so this is my second adult novel. I've written quite a few books for kids, and then I started doing more adult. I did my first adult novel is called The Funeral Ladies of Ellery County, and it's also about a big Catholic Wisconsin family. And I was talking to my editor about what my next book should be, and I said something very weird on the phone, which is, "So I really like cults." And she was like, "Say more?" I just started telling her about, like, these Netflix documentaries I had watched, and then
Yes.
she shared that she had just watched all the Ruby Frankie body cam footage. If people are familiar with Ruby Frankie, she's, like, a mom influencer who is in prison for abusing her children, and, she was a huge inspiration for the story, and so my editor and I were just going on this rabbit hole talking about Ruby Frankie body cam footage and cults, and she was like, "I think there's something in here that is a book you could write, which is, like, a mom influencer cult," and I was like, "That is such a cool idea. Let me see what I can come up with." And I love, like we've been saying, I love writing my stories very like rooted in the Midwest. And so I knew I wanted this family to run a business. And I was like, kind of thought maybe like a frozen custard shop, but it felt a little hallmarky. And so I went supper club. And so that's kind of how the book came together. And I didn't know how much it was going to even have to do with motherhood at the start. I thought it was going to be more focused on like the drama cult aspect. But then when I started writing it, I thought, what would be like the cause of a lot of these conflicts? And I think it is that idea of like, I'm raising my kids this way, you're raising your kids this way. We really love each other. We want to be around each other. And this is sticky, this is hard. And like how we grew up is affecting the choices we're making now, which is something I
Mhm.
believe so much that like so much of our childhood story impacts us as adults. And so yeah, and then I had also been listening to this podcast with Paris Hilton about her experience when she was a teenager.
Yes.
Yeah, so for if people don't know, when Paris Hilton was a teenager,
Oh my
her
god.
parents paid these men to, like, kidnap her and take her to a wilderness survival camp, and it is so traumatic, like, she was abused there and assaulted, and this podcast was so dark, but I had the idea to maybe incorporate some of that into Remy's story 'cause, happily and luckily, a lot of those camps are kinda dying out, but they were really, really big in the '80s and '90s, so that lined up
Yes.
with Remy, and so, yeah, that's kinda how it all came together.
That's literally exactly what I thought of. It
Yeah,
was like Paris Hilton's story.
I
Yeah.
thought of the Paris
There's
Hilton thing too, for sure, yeah.
there's a mention to it too, right near the end of the book. Remy says something about an heiress fighting against them, so I had to give Paris her due for inspiring me, and
Yes,
she's
yes.
doing great advocacy work.
My god, she's incredible. I never thought I would say it, but, like, yay, Paris, like, you're taking down the patriarchy.
Yeah, she has enough money, she could just go sit in Ibiza for the rest of her life, so, like, good for you for doing something worthwhile.
I'm so curious. I would love to hear just like a lot of our listeners are either like debut, they're writing, they're self publishing, kind of in the early phases. If we could kind of dive into kind of your journey into publishing or even like what this week looks and feels like for you.
Yeah, what are you doing this week?
Like how is it feeling right now? Like where are you at?
Oh, it's a lot. So I'm doing a lot of this. I'm doing a lot of podcasts and a lot of like radio stuff, which is great. And I'm having a book launch party tomorrow night, which is really exciting at a bookstore in downtown Milwaukee. And my friend
Which one?
Alicia Gilmore. Honestly, it's just a lot of this kind of stuff, like interviews. And I Tess set me up with a couple websites to like write pieces for. So I've got like an essay coming out for Lit Hub and something coming out for She Writes and just kind of anything to get eyes on the book. But I'm not a super anxious publishing person. I don't get super stressed out about like, oh my gosh, like how do I get all these eyes on it? I think because I have been doing it a while, honestly.
Yeah.
I know in my head that books find their readers. And to me, the best way to do that is honestly word of mouth. And so I think a lot of people put a lot on launch day and launch week. But to me, it's like once it gets read by people, they tell other people, and it's like these things gain steam over months. And that's always been my experience. I'm not some like hot out of the gate #1 New York Times bestseller, but I have a great, like consistent sales record because I think it's like a slow and steady wins the race, in my opinion.
That's super good
So a
advice.
lot of that.
Yeah, because
Yes.
it's people's kind of they think that there has to be so much done in this kind of lead up situation, and
Yeah.
they're getting hundreds of ARC readers, and they're, like, putting all their money into, like, ads and marketing, and it's like, I think it sounds like there's room for all of that, but it's more like you just need to let it happen as well.
Yeah, I think just, like, taking a beat and not getting so stressed out. I see a lot of writers just really not enjoying the creativity anymore because 'cause they're just so stressed about, like, that first week, and I'm like, "If you just take a breath and remember, like, why you write and just" I don't know, I can get kinda woo, but I'm just a believer in, like, what's meant for you will find you, and, like, it will go the way it's gonna go, and authors can it's not I'm also not one of those people who's like, "Authors can't do anything to move the needle." I don't think that's true either, but I think it's somewhere in the middle where, like, do what you enjoy doing. Like, I enjoy podcasts, I enjoy my own Substack, I enjoy events, and so those are kind of the things I focus on. I'm not gonna spend a ton of money on, like, TikTok ads because I don't even know how. I'm not anti that. I'm not learning. I'm too old to learn the new. So, like, I'm not gonna do that. But, like, find what you like and do it, and just know that if you put time and energy into your craft and you made something good, people are not gonna shut up about it because readers love to talk about what they're reading. So,
Oh my god, like, that's all they
yeah,
wanna do!
I know, for real.
Well, that's kinda like what I've noticed with your approach, Kate, like, especially is, you're doing the things that you enjoy and you're not I don't know, like, you just have, like, this demeanor of, like, "Yeah, it's gonna happen," and it's not, like, strangling it.
When does your book come out, Kate?
The 28th.
Isn't it okay, so very soon.
Very soon, and I've been feeling the, like I'm so focused on the podcast and, like, growing that, and, like, we've had a lot of growth in our first few months that it kinda took up a lot more time and energy than I thought, like, it was going to. So it kinda became the main thing, whereas I thought the book would be the main thing, and it just isn't. But it's also been this really nice kind of it's kept me from, like, kinda losing my mind about, "My gosh, do I have enough advanced readers?" Like, I didn't have any. Like, I just didn't put it on net I didn't do any of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it feels good to hear whereas, like, all like, my friends that have books coming out this month, like, their whole Instagram grid is just the cover of their books and, like, all of these, like, cool posts about their books, and, like, mine is not at all.
yeah,
There's a few and stuff, but I think too with the podcast has also built, like, its own platform in a way where it's been
totally.
like, it's still people I've had a few book clubs, like, reach out and been like, "We listened to the podcast, can we get your book?" And I'm like, "I'm not doing any type of, like, promotion of the book itself." Like, I'm just talking on
You're
Yeah.
like, "It's just my face. It's not my
Yeah.
book, it's my face."
So hearing you say that just makes me feel like, okay, and, like, it's the book's gonna be in the world, right? Like, it's gonna be there,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
gonna have a product to sell.
yeah.
So
And
Mhm.
that might be part of this might be me coming from kidlit because most of my books are middle grade books and that whole industry just moves a lot slower. They're not so obsessed with those first few months sales. They're really looking at more of like a first school year because it takes a while to get books into schools and teachers to read them and then and because there's that whole other gatekeeping system. And so things are just a lot slower and steadier, calmer, I feel, versus an adult. I think there's all this pressure to be like on the USA Today bestseller. Like again, I'm not a bestseller, but I make plenty of money from my books. Plenty of people read them. So I don't know. To me, it's like, well, people are buying them. I don't need like a meaningless accolade. I mean, it's fun to get, I'm not gonna say why, it's fun to get that kind of one of my books got nominated for an Edgar, and I immediately put Edgar Award nominated on like everything I own. Like but I'm not like sitting I'm not gonna let the stress of that ruin something as fun as a book launch. You know how many people wanna write a book and have a book launch party? Like, I'm not gonna sit and mope about not being on a bestseller list. Like, I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yes! Oh, that's so good to hear of just you did the damn thing! Like,
Yeah.
how cool is
Yeah.
that?
yeah.
I agree. I just wish more authors, like, celebrated themselves and weren't, like, declaring their books dead before they've even come out because they don't have enough Goodreads ads. Like, who cares about Goodreads? Like, that's not I don't know.
Oh, that's so
My
refreshing.
publicist is probably somewhere being like, "Claire, stop. Like, tell people to add the book on Goodreads." I'm like, "I don't care."
We will review it on Goodreads, we promise.
But that's so nice. That's just like it makes it more like, okay, this should be like a happy time. This should be a time to like celebrate and yeah. That's so nice.
Like, Kate, you're like whole entire, like, the pressure of the world is just, like, fluffed off, you know? You're like, "Okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be fine."
Yeah.
No, there's just, like I think it's just the kind of comparing yourself to what other people
Yeah.
are doing and, like, what their platform
For
looks like or
sure.
how many followers they have, like, and we all do it, but, like, just to kind of make it your own journey, it sounds like, and celebrate what you did and allow yourself that time. I'm sure
For
Chloe
sure. That
Freshman's one.
Yeah, I mean, that book, Yesteryear is everywhere right now
Mhm.
about, like, a trad wife, and her name is even I think her name is Claire. Her middle name is Claire, and it just made me laugh that it's like, "Oh, of course, the trad wife novel by a Claire." That's, like, on every list and every book tour, but it's like, I can either sit in my feelings and be all grumpy about it, or I can, like, laugh and also think to myself, like, "Wow, there's a lot of people who wanna read a book about trad wives. That's pretty good news for me for coming out tomorrow." So I think it's just like an attitude shift.
And
Yeah,
it's kind of,
totally.
like, ironic too that, like, your book has, like, so much to do with, like, social media and, like, what you actually, like, put out there and how it's really not the reality at all,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
feels almost like this is, like, a direct reflection of that, like, kind of arc of just being more genuine versus putting so much pressure to be perfect on the exterior, like, facade because God, as moms, it's just like it's freaking constant. And it's like, why would you like if you have the pressure of everyone else putting it on you, why do you have to put even more on yourself?
Yeah.
So it's like you're choosing you and you're choosing joy, and I love it
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Well, good.
You know what that was really I saw that so much in the freaking Mama Llama letters. Holy shit, like, where did those come out of? 'Cause so
Yes! Was that like the parenting advice you always wish you would have gotten?
those were so
Honestly, partly. I was thinking again about why are women turning to advice columns? Like, why do we want to know what a stranger on the internet thinks? And I think so much of it is just anxiety, and you just want someone to tell you, like, honestly, I feel like I'm mama lamaing right now. Like, you kinda just want somebody to be like, "It's gonna be fine." Like, it's all gonna be good. If your kid reads nothing but Captain Underpants for a year, that's okay. They'll be fine. Like, I think we're just, like, looking for that wisdom, and then at the same time, there are things where we don't wanna just be like, "That's fine." And so you kinda see that when someone writes into Mama Llama about, like, is it okay if I just give my kid an iPad for hours in the car? And it's like, okay, what are you really asking? I think what you're asking is maybe something like a little deeper than something about screen time. I think what everyone is really asking is like, am I a good mom? Am I doing a good job? Like, do you think I'm doing a good job? Like, I think that's really what everyone's asking. And so I kind of wanted to just create a space where someone who objectively did a horrible job, Cass did not do a good job. She made very bad decisions is then put in this place of having to, like, tell other people, like, my whole career up to this point has been basically shaming everyone and telling them they did a bad job, but now I'm gonna speak more from my heart, and I'm gonna really try to connect through writing and make that transition, and Mama Llama, in the book, they come up with that name because they just love the Llama Llama Red Pajama books, and, like, so do I. So that is a little nod to the late, great Anna Dewdney.
those are so good. And she also uses the advice of the women around her to write them. And it's like, it's so good. It's so good.
Thank you.
So good. I think that readers are, like, really gonna identify with that. I'm sure they already
I
have, but,
hope
like,
so.
yeah, it's really, really cool.
Are you working on anything else or have something else in mind for the future?
Yes. So I Supper Club Saints is my focus for adults, but I do have a middle grade mystery coming out in January of next year.
Whoa.
I'm really excited about it. It's called Mr. Cooper Didn't Do It, and it's about the most popular teacher in school. The field trip money goes missing, and someone finds the field trip money in his desk, and his class knows he didn't do it, and they want to band together and prove his innocence. And so it's an epistolary book told through like texts and late notes and all kinds of like multimedia things. And yeah, that'll be out in January, and I'm really excited about that one.
That sounds
Yeah.
incredible.
Thank you.
But, yeah, like, really happy with this episode, like, We could talk for another
Well,
hour and a
thank you.
half, and it would be super
I
fun.
know.
I know. We always have to put
I
a
know I
cap
wanna
on
interview
it.
you. I'm like, I wanna hear all about how the podcast got started. Yeah.
It's yeah, but, we'll put you in the group chat 'cause no, so I'm just like, how have we not all met before? Like, how have we,
Right.
like, run into each other,
Yeah.
through,
Well,
like
one of these days.
yeah, through
Yes, especially next time Kate comes to Wisconsin, we should go to a supper club and we'll go near because we have to go visit Sarah and I. So then we'll go visit Claire and then we'll just
Perfect.
like have a little like tour day Wisconsin author.
Supper club
I
tour.
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love it,
supper
love it.
club, we'll supper club it up. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, but get your book and we'll
Yeah.
put it in there.
Sure. Yeah, so the Supper Club Saints is about a girl named Cass. She's a young mom, and she has been away from her small Wisconsin town for a couple of years, living in a mom-mune with a group of mom influencers. And when things go south there pretty quickly, she runs away and returns home, thinking that she's going to be able to work at her family's supper club, only to find out that it's being sold. So she quickly gets a job as a parenting advice columnist, and with the help of her sisters and her own mother, ends up writing advice to moms who write in and want to know about modern parenting and small town life. And they spend a lot of time with their supper club and remembering all the good times they had there and kind of diving into how what happened to us as children influences our parenting today. And yeah, it's a big, complicated Wisconsin family, and I hope you love it.
Oh, it's so good. You're gonna love it. You guys are gonna love
Yes.
um,
It's like the perfect like early summer read, I think.
Well,
It
thank
fits.
you.
yeah, absolutely.